How are we tonight, folks? Doing well, I hope. But let's be honest, you're not, are you? There's a sense of unease in the air, isn't there? You can feel it, just a faint prickling at the back of your mind, a creeping discomfort. Maybe you haven't even realized what it is yet, but I know. I know it all too well. It's fear. They fear you. Oh yes, they do. Don't shake your head and pretend I'm wrong. There's no need for modesty here. The truth is, they'll never admit it. They'll never tell you that you make them uneasy, that you keep them up at night wondering, what if no? They'll smile, they'll greet you warmly, maybe even pay you a compliment. But deep down, in the places they dare not talk about, they're terrified. They fear you because admitting their fear would mean acknowledging that you're different, that you're something beyond their control. Then people, oh, they love control. They wrap themselves in it like a security blanket, convincing themselves they've got everything figured out. But you shatter that illusion. You make them feel exposed, like the rules they live by are a fragile charade. You make them doubt the simplicity of their game, and that is terrifying. You are the shadow they whisper about when they think no one is listening. They'll never say it out loud, though. Admitting that would be humiliating, being afraid of someone they see every day, someone who smiles, laughs, and talks like anyone else. But it's not your face they fear, it's what lies beneath. It's the part of you they can't see, the part they know you're holding back. They can sense it, the wildness in you, the power, the unpredictability. They fear that. But they hide it. They cloak it in polite conversation and forced smiles, because if they admitted it, if they said, "You scare me," then they'd have to confront the truth. They'd have to face what it is about you that unsettles them so much. And that's not a truth they want to explore. It's easier to keep pretending, easier for them to call you strange, difficult, rebellious. But deep down they know. They know what you're capable of, and it terrifies them. You see, people have this desperate need for understanding, for predictability, for control. It's how they keep their world orderly and safe. But you're the chaos that doesn't fit into their tidy categories. You're the question they don't have an answer for. That's what truly scares them, not your strength, not your actions, but your potential. The very possibility of what you might do. Have you noticed how they walk on eggshells around you? The awkward laughter when you make a joke that cuts a little too close to the truth. The hesitation in their steps when you're near. They'll never say it, but that's fear. Pure, unfiltered fear. Because, my dear, you are something they can't comprehend. You make them confront the lie of their own security. They spend their lives building walls, following routines, and constructing neat little social contracts to keep everything in place. But you've seen through the cracks. You know how flimsy those walls really are, how easy it is to topple everything with just a single push. Then they know that you know. That's the secret. That's why they fear you, not for anything you've done, but for what you could do. Because you're not bound by their rules. You don't play by their game. And that scares them more than anything. So they'll keep smiling, keep nodding, keep laughing at your jokes as if everything is fine. But deep down they're terrified. Terrified because you're free, and freedom, oh, that's the scariest thing of all. They fear you because you don't play by their rules, and people, they desperately need their rules. You've seen it. You walk into a room, and everything changes. The air thickens, eyes dart around. They pretend not to notice, but you feel it, the shift, the tension. They know you're not like them. You don't follow their script, and that makes you dangerous. They can't predict you. They can't control you. And that drives them mad. But you see, that's precisely your power, the ability to unsettle them just by existing, just by being unapologetically yourself. It's not what you say or do, it's the mere fact that you exist outside their mold. You're a reminder that life doesn't fit into neat little boxes. That everything isn't as safe and predictable as they want to believe. And when they see you, it shatters that illusion. It's like staring into a mirror. They don't want to look at a reflection of their own fragility and the chaos they desperately try to avoid. It's funny, isn't it? How they try to box you in, label you, dismiss you as the outsider, the misfit, the one who just doesn't get it. But that's just their fear talking. They want to turn you into something they can manage. Something they can control. Yet deep down, they know they can't. You're the loose thread in their perfectly woven fabric, and the more they try to pull it, the more everything unravels. They fear the truth that one day you might not hold back, that one day You might show them the full force of what you've kept locked away. Oh, they try to keep you in check, don't they? They'll warn you, try to rein you in with their judgments, their rules, their expectations. They want you to conform, to fit in, to follow their path. But they don't realize that your path is yours alone, and it doesn't bend to their will. You walk it fearlessly, and that's what terrifies them the most. Because no matter how much they try, they know they can't control a storm. They know they can't tame the wildness in your eyes or the fire in your soul. They see it, and it's a threat to everything they cling to for comfort. They sense the strength you carry, the resilience, the ability to rise even when they've tried to bring you down. And that's when the fear truly sets in, when they realize you're not just a force of chaos, but one of relentless power. They know that nothing they say or do can break you, and that haunts them. It makes them restless, keeps them glancing over their shoulders, wondering when the moment will come when you decide to unleash it all. They know that the power they fear isn't about what you've done, but what you will do when you're ready, when you finally decide that you've had enough of playing by their rules. Because you see, they don't fear the chaos you bring, they fear the control they know you could take if you wanted. They fear that you hold the cards, that you can rewrite the story at any moment. It's not the unknown they dread, it's the truth that deep down, they are powerless in the face of someone who isn't afraid to stand alone, someone who is willing to challenge everything they've built their lives upon. You are the proof that all their walls, all their rules, all their carefully constructed worlds can come crashing down, just like that. And that's the difference, isn't it? They fear losing control, while you've embraced the chaos. You've learned to thrive in it, to find strength in the unpredictability, and that makes you unstoppable. You are the reminder that freedom isn't about fitting in, but about breaking free. It's about standing tall, even when every rule says you shouldn't. It's about being unchained, unafraid, and unwilling to compromise. So let them fear. Let them whisper. Let them pretend they aren't watching you when you know they always are. Because deep down they know what you've always known: you are the storm they can never control, and that, my dear, is where your power truly lies. Because here's the thing, every time they try to hold you back, every time they attempt to fit you into their neat, comfortable little categories, they only add fuel to the fire. You see, the more they resist, the more you rise. It's a paradox. They can't wrap their minds around how the very chains they use to bind you only make you stronger, sharper, and more determined. They can't comprehend that by trying to diminish your power, they're actually amplifying it, and that terrifies them beyond words. They watch as you stand your ground, unbothered, unbroken, and they can't fathom how someone like you exists, someone who refuses to be tamed. They'll keep pretending, though. They'll keep acting as if they don't notice the shift in the air when you walk into the room. The way conversations quiet down, the way eyes flicker with nervous energy. Oh, they'll act casual, indifferent, like you don't matter. But you know the truth, they're always aware of your presence. You're the reminder that their world isn't as secure as they want it to be. You're the living, breathing contradiction to everything they tell themselves to feel safe. And that makes you unforgettable. No matter how much they try to downplay it, your very existence is a constant challenge to their illusion of control. It's almost amusing, really, watching them go through the motions, pretending their rules still hold weight when they know they don't. They whisper behind closed doors, hoping that their words will somehow contain you. They strategize, trying to figure out how to rein in your influence, how to weaken your spirit. But they fail to realize that you thrive on that very resistance. It sharpens you, hones your instincts, and sets you further apart. Every attempt they make to suppress you only reminds you of your strength, of the fire burning inside you, a fire they can't extinguish no matter how hard they try. They think they're the ones holding power, but deep down, they know it's an illusion. They know that real power isn't about controlling others, it's about knowing who you are, even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. And that's your edge. While they scramble to maintain their facade, you stand solid in your truth. You've learned to see through their masks, their polite smiles, their shallow gestures of goodwill. You recognize the fear behind their eyes, the desperation to keep everything in its place. And you know that the tighter they cling, the closer they are to losing their grip. Because here's the secret they don't want to admit: they know you're inevitable. They know that. No matter how much they try to contain you, no matter how many labels they throw your way, you'll always find a way to break free. It's not a matter of if, but when. And that keeps them up at night. They sense that you're not just a presence, they sense that you're a force. A catalyst for change they can't predict or control. You are everything they fear most: the unpredictable, the untamed, the embodiment of freedom they'll never have. So let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them scheme. Because every time they do, they're only proving what you already know, that they fear what they cannot control, and they cannot control you. You walk your own path, unshackled by their expectations, unburdened by their judgments. And that freedom, that power they can't touch, is what makes you unstoppable. It's what sets you apart. It's what makes you a force of nature, an undeniable truth that no amount of pretense can disguise. Remember this: no matter how much they try to silence you, no matter how much they try to contain you, you're beyond their reach. You don't play by their rules, then that makes you the most powerful person in any room. The strength they envy, the freedom they can't understand, it's all yours. And as they struggle to keep up, as they desperately try to maintain their illusion of control, you're already moving forward, untethered, unafraid, and absolutely unstoppable. Because you, my dear, are the embodiment of everything they fear but can never possess: true freedom, true power, and the courage to stand alone. And that is a power they will never have.